Well, good morning, everybody. Brian Cox here, your Director of Career Development with our Spotlight series, of course, where we interview incredible agents like yourself. And I'm here, as always, with the wonderful Mark Wolfe. Mark, would you like to introduce the agent we're going to be interviewing this morning?
Yeah, I would. Scott Greenberg in our Willow Bend office. It's hard to believe, but Scott joined 21 years ago, almost. He had been a realtor with a RE/MAX office in Richardson. And he came over and joined our Willow Bend office. And he and his wife, Kristen, but Scott has just been a tremendous asset, just a great guy all around. So Scott, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, family, whatever you'd like to share. So.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Of course, I just went blank there, but I have been with the office almost 21 years. Thankfully, my wife had a great sales job when we started. It allowed me to get started and not stress out about things. We have two wonderful grown children, Ryan and Ashley, who used to come around a lot more, but now they're grown. They each have their own home, which I'm very proud of both of them. And we live in Plano, been in Plano for about 17 years, been in the area for about 30 years.
Fantastic. And you said, your wife had a good sales job. You were able to get going without stressing out too much. What motivated you to become a real estate agent in the beginning?
Well, that is a long story. Actually, I was never motivated to become a realtor. I graduated from college, went into the Air Force. I was an officer in the Air Force. After 8 years, I got out thinking that I would join the corporate world and set the world on fire. That didn't work out so well. So I tried entrepreneurial endeavors and went with several small companies, held positions of VP of operations, CFO. And so all of these different jobs, I think, have prepared me for what I do now. Running a small business, great experience for becoming a realtor. But in 1998, I, again, was out of a job, was doing some consulting, which is basically being unemployed, but a little bit of consulting for a company. And the owner of the company came to me and said, Scott, your contract is almost up. What are you going to do? I said, I have no idea. He said, well, I've been wanting to flip homes. Why don't you flip homes with me? So we started flipping homes, and we were flipping so many that it made sense to get our real estate license. Things just took off after that. The really funny thing is my mother was a realtor in Florida for about 20 years. And when I was getting out of the Air Force, she said, Scott, come in and sell real estate with me. You'll be great at it. I said, Mom, I've got an engineering degree. I sit in an office all day. How can I sell anything? So for about 8 years of flopping around in different businesses, I'm sure my mom sat there and said, Scott, you can do it. You can do it. Then I fell into real estate and I found out I can do it. And actually was pretty well at it. But everything that I had done prior to that really prepared me for it. And really, I didn't know this, but I don't feel like it's selling. I mean, essentially, I go in there, I help somebody on a mission that they want to complete, which is to buy a home or sell a home. And I try and do it as well and give them as great of advice as I possibly can. And how can that be selling? I mean, it's basically helping somebody out and telling them the rules by which they have to live within and helping to explain things.
Doing these interviews, I hear a lot of the same thing from some of the best like yourself. It's that essentially what you're saying there is that it's serving, it's not selling. And
exactly.
That is great advice for every, corporate light the world on fire, like you said, kind of guy who's getting into the business, is that you got to be able to serve your clients. So it sounds like you already had that entrepreneurial mindset, driver, go getter. coming into the business, which obviously we believe fits here at Remax. So tell me, what brought you to Remax DFW Associates?
Well, I think Mark mentioned that I came from an office in Richardson. And actually, the business partner that I was flipping homes with, we had opened up a Remax franchise in Richardson. And when we were getting started, I called every broker in the area and said, hey, we're starting a new office. Any tips you can give me? There was only one person who returned my call, and that was Mark. And not only did he return the call and give me tips, but he allowed our office manager to come and mirror his office manager for a day, which was invaluable. So my office didn't turn out so well. I ended up selling it after about 6 months. But when Mark called me back, I said, if I ever change offices, I know exactly where I'm going. And essentially, I've been very happy for almost 21 years now.
It's the large impact of small acts, just returning a phone call and helping somebody out. Well, we're glad you're here. And then how would you describe Remax DFW Associates to somebody else in the industry?
I think helpful acts is a great term that you just used. Essentially, Mark provides us with the tools that we need to succeed, the tools that we need to learn our trade as well as we possibly can, and great advice and motivation. One thing I love about the office is it doesn't seem like we're competing. It seems like we're there to help each other. And, there was a while ago that I was very competitive and I always wanted to be at the top of the sales list. And most times I was, but it's just one of those things. You compete, but it's friendly competition and people are there to help. If you go and ask almost anybody in our office a question, you're going to get a very solid answer and one that can help you learn and progress in the future.
All the tools and resources you need, but also the people standing next to you, shoulder to shoulder, getting it done. What do you believe it takes to be successful in this industry, Scott?
I think it takes a solid commitment. The first thing you have to do is wake up and go to work every morning. So yes, you are essentially unemployed when you wake up. You've got to go out there and find that business. And you have to set yourself up with a very disciplined approach to doing things. And for me, it's get up, go over my schedule, set my schedule, look at the things that I really don't want to do and figure out when I'm going to do them. And essentially go to work. Go to work, be as knowledgeable as you can. One thing that I committed to doing when I got into real estate is going to every inspection, going to every closing, learn every day. And I learn still after 21 years. It really surprises me when I learn something new, but I do quite a bit. But it's just that drive for constant improvement, always try and make yourself better and a better asset to those that you're serving. And I mean, the military really helped instill that in me, the discipline to go out. Don't try and BS people, because when you try and BS people, you're going to get caught on it. So if you don't know the answer to something, say, you know what? I don't know the answer to that, but I'll find it out for you. And that's a much better answer than trying to say, well, I think blah, 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 when you're way off and you lose all credibility in that instance. So, just really get up, go to work every day, learn every day, be accountable for what you're doing, and actually do the little things. Return your phone calls, return texts. It's amazing that you can call a realtor and that realtor doesn't call you back for 3 days. How is that realtor trying to get your business? It's crazy. And if they're doing that before they know you, what are they going to do once they know you?
Yeah, that's excellent advice. And It does always fascinate me whenever somebody doesn't, return a phone call or a text message, especially a text messages. And I love what you said about don't BS people, because I think BS meters are higher and higher and higher every single day, especially with the internet, and we can all go figure it out. But there's a lot of gold in what you just said. I'm going to have a hard time pulling out the things to put in my email, Scott. Last question here. What or who inspires you?
I have always been a very competitive person, and I'm kind of the jack of all trades in sports and just never good enough to be excellent at it. So really that competitive spirit drives me to try and be excellent at something that I can be excellent at. And it's really just something that is instilled inside of me. And it's just a motivation to help my family, help the people around me, and be as good as I can possibly be. When you go to bed at night, you say, you know what? I don't think I had a very good day. What can I do to improve that tomorrow? Or, you know what? Today was a great day. I didn't sell anything, but I talked to a bunch of people. I answered questions. I'm on track to where I need to be. And it's just really, really self-fulfilling to know that you've helped a family, to know that you've helped your kids, that you've helped your wife, you've helped your mom, your dad, all of that. And that's why I do this. And it's fun. It's frustrating, but it's fun to see what each day will bring, because each day brings a different problem and solution.
Thank you for that, Scott. That was motivating for me personally, especially that idea of laying down at night and when you haven't had a good day, but really seeing it as an opportunity to get better for the next day. That's extraordinarily motivating. I appreciate that. Mark, anything to add or any final questions you might have?
Well, I guess a couple of things that allude to what Scott had made comment on. First of all, he talked about his competitive nature. I just found out here in the last few days that the Willow Bend office, where Scott is the number one office in Texas, RE/MAX office in production per agent. The average agent is about 175,000. You take out the buyer agents, it's about 195,000 is the average agent income. And Scott's part of that success. He really is. It's a great group of people. It is really a phenomenal group of people in that office. And secondly, Scott, I had forgotten some of that story before you actually joined us. I didn't remember my administrator helping or different things like that, but I do remember visiting with you and speaking with you. And I was sorry for you that things didn't work out in one regard, but I was so glad that I got the call for you to come our direction, because you've just been a real blessing to the company. So thank you for what you shared today. You really gave some good insight, some good thought perspective, and different agents relate different ways, and Scott's that guy that has that silent security about him, has that silent wisdom, if you will, and I know he's absolutely, well, you can tell by his client surveys, his clients absolutely love him. So thank you, Scott. We appreciate it very much. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for taking the time today.
All right. Thanks, Brian.